I stand before you today as the woman of 2025, stronger than I've ever been, not because I haven't faced challenges, but because I've learned to embrace them. I've learned that strength isn't about how many weights you can lift or how much you can endure. It's about how deeply you know yourself and how authentically you show up, even in the hardest moments. Self-acceptance is the foundation of true strength. It is not the absence of flaws or challenges, but the willingness to embrace every part of who we are, our strengths, our weaknesses, and everything in between. In a world that constantly pushes us toward perfection, self-acceptance is the rebellious act of declaring that we are enough, just as we are. Too often, we measure our worth by external standards, by how we look, how much we achieve, how others perceive us. Society bombards us with messages that tell us who we should be, how we should act, and what success looks like. These pressures shape our identity and push us to hide our vulnerabilities and flaws in order to fit into an idealized version of ourselves. But this pursuit of perfection is exhausting, and ultimately it's a trap. No matter how hard we try, perfection is unattainable. We are human, and being human means we are inherently imperfect. It's in our imperfections that we find the power to grow, learn, and connect with others. Self-acceptance doesn't mean resigning ourselves to complacency or ignoring areas of our lives where we want to grow. It's not about surrendering to mediocrity or becoming passive in the face of challenges. Instead, self-acceptance is the courageous act of accepting where we are, acknowledging who we are, and giving ourselves permission to be imperfect in the process of becoming more. It's about recognizing that our flaws do not diminish our value but contribute to our uniqueness and our potential. When we accept ourselves, we stop playing the comparison game. We stop measuring our worth against the success of others or against unattainable standards. The truth is, comparison is the thief of joy. When we compare ourselves to others, we fail to see the beauty in our own journey. We overlook our own accomplishments and strengths because we're too focused on what someone else has achieved. We become fixated on what we lack instead of celebrating what we have. By choosing self-acceptance, we begin to recognize that our value isn't based on comparison or external approval. Our value is inherent. It's in our humanity, in our experiences, and in the lessons we've learned along the way. When we accept ourselves, we give ourselves the freedom to live authentically, without fear of judgment or rejection. We stop pretending to be someone we're not, and instead we begin to show up fully as who we are. This is where true strength lies. Self-acceptance also means embracing our vulnerabilities. Vulnerability is often misunderstood as a weakness, but in reality, it's one of the greatest sources of strength we have. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we open ourselves to connection, to love, and to growth. Vulnerability is the bridge that connects us to others in meaningful ways. It's the willingness to admit when we don't have all the answers, to ask for help when we need it, and to share our struggles and challenges without shame. In a society that values stoicism and independence, vulnerability can feel risky. We fear being judged, rejected, or seen as weak. But the truth is, vulnerability is the birthplace of courage. It takes incredible strength to be vulnerable. It takes strength to admit that we don't have it all figured out, that we're not perfect, and that we need others. It's only through embracing vulnerability that we can build the kind of deep, meaningful relationships that sustain us through life's challenges. One of the most powerful aspects of self-acceptance is the ability to give ourselves grace. We are often our own harshest critics. We judge ourselves for our mistakes, for not being where we think we should be, for not living up to our own expectations. But when we practice self-acceptance, we learn to offer ourselves compassion. We understand that making mistakes is part of the human experience, and it doesn't make us failures. It makes us learners. We give ourselves permission to grow at our own pace, to stumble and fall, and to get back up without shame. This grace is not about letting ourselves off the hook or avoiding accountability. It's about recognizing that we are worthy of love and respect, even when we fall short of our own expectations. Self-acceptance means forgiving ourselves for our past mistakes and understanding that they do not define us. We are always evolving, always learning, and always capable of change. We do not need to be perfect to be worthy of love, success, and happiness. Another critical component of self-acceptance is the practice of self-love. Self-love is the act of recognizing our own worth and treating ourselves with kindness, respect, and care. It's about setting boundaries, prioritizing our well-being, and giving ourselves the space to thrive. When we love ourselves, we stop seeking validation from others because we know that our worth is not dependent on external approval. We begin to make choices that align with our values and our needs, rather than seeking approval from others or living according to society's expectations. Self-acceptance also means embracing our past. Many of us carry the weight of past mistakes, regrets, or traumas. We hold on to these experiences as if they define us, as if they make us unworthy of happiness or success. But when we learn to accept our past, we free ourselves from the burden of shame and guilt. We understand that our past does not dictate our future. We have the power to heal, to grow, and to create a new story for ourselves. Our past is simply a part of who we are, but it is not the whole of who we are. In conclusion, self-acceptance is not a destination, it's a lifelong practice. It's a commitment to showing up as our authentic selves, to embracing our imperfections, and to treating ourselves with the same compassion that we would offer to a friend. It is through self-acceptance that we find our true strength, not in the absence of flaws, but in the courage to embrace them, learn from them, and move forward with love and grace. When we accept ourselves, we unlock the full potential of who we are, and we give ourselves the freedom to live a life of authenticity, connection, and purpose. The strength we seek is already within us. It's in the acceptance of who we are, right now in this very moment. Resilience is often considered one of the most defining qualities of a strong individual. It is the capacity to bounce back from adversity, to face challenges head-on, and to persist in the face of hardship. But resilience is not just about survival, it's about growth. It's about taking the difficulties we face, learning from them, and emerging stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. In a world that seems to become increasingly unpredictable and full of obstacles, resilience is not just a helpful trait, it is essential. Adversity is an inevitable part of life. It's something that none of us can escape, no matter how hard we try. The nature of adversity varies from person to person, whether it's a personal loss, a health issue, a career setback, or unexpected challenges in relationships, but what matters most is how we respond to it. Resilience isn't about avoiding or escaping hardship. It's about how we face the storm when it comes. It's about what we do when life doesn't go according to plan, when we are knocked down or faced with the unexpected. It's about learning to stand tall and move forward no matter the setback. One of the most powerful aspects of resilience is that it allows us to transform pain into strength. When we face difficult situations, we are presented with a choice. We can either allow the hardship to define us negatively, or we can choose to use it as an opportunity for growth. It's not easy, and it doesn't happen overnight, but resilience teaches us to look beyond the immediate pain and to find the lessons hidden within the hardship. Every challenge we face holds the potential to teach us something valuable about ourselves and the world around us. It's through resilience that we learn how to turn struggles into stepping stones. What makes resilience so powerful is that it doesn't require us to be perfect. We don't need to have everything figured out in order to bounce back. Resilience is built through our willingness to keep going even when we don't have all the answers. It's about taking one step forward after another, even when we're unsure, scared, or exhausted. There's strength in admitting that we don't know how to fix everything, but still having the courage to keep moving forward regardless. In fact, the very act of trying, of putting one foot in front of the other, is a powerful statement of resilience. However, it's important to understand that resilience doesn't mean we have to do it all alone. Sometimes the most resilient thing we can do is ask for help. It's a myth that resilient people are those who manage to handle everything by themselves. In reality, true resilience is often about building a network of support, reaching out to others when we need encouragement, and being willing to lean on the strength of those around us. We are not meant to be solitary warriors, but rather part of a community that can help us overcome life's challenges. Vulnerability, too, plays a role in resilience. It is through acknowledging our weaknesses and seeking support that we become even stronger. Another key component of resilience is perspective. The way we view adversity can have a profound impact on how we experience it. It's easy to fall into a mindset of defeat, to feel that we're being punished or that things will never get better. But resilience requires us to shift our perspective and adopt a mindset of possibility. This doesn't mean denying the pain or pretending that everything is fine when it's not. Rather, it's about understanding that adversity is not the end of the story, it's just a chapter. Resilient people learn to focus on what they can control, on the small steps they can take to move forward, and on finding meaning in the struggle. Rather than viewing hardship as something to be avoided, resilient individuals see it as an opportunity to build strength, character, and wisdom. Part of building resilience also involves accepting that setbacks are part of the journey, not signs of failure. We all experience setbacks along the way, moments when it feels like everything is going wrong, when we feel like giving up. But resilience is not about avoiding failure, it's about learning to persevere through it. In fact, failure is often one of our greatest teachers. It teaches us humility, patience, and perseverance. It challenges our assumptions and forces us to get creative in finding solutions. When we can view failure as an essential part of the learning process rather than as a reason to quit, we are building the foundation for resilience. Furthermore, resilience requires self-compassion. Often when we face adversity, we are our own worst critics. We berate ourselves for not being able to handle things better or for not being strong enough. But self-compassion is essential in building resilience because it allows us to face our challenges without the added burden of self-judgment. When we treat ourselves with kindness, we are able to navigate difficult times with a clearer mind and a more open heart. We allow ourselves to feel the pain without punishing ourselves for it. Self-compassion helps us recover from adversity faster, as it gives us the mental space to process what's happening without getting stuck in negative self-talk. Another aspect of resilience is the ability to adapt. Life rarely goes according to plan, and the more rigid we are in our expectations, the harder it can be to bounce back from setbacks. Resilient individuals are flexible. They understand that life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and they are willing to adapt to new circumstances. When things don't go as planned, instead of feeling defeated, resilient people adjust their approach, explore new paths, and find alternative solutions. This adaptability is key to navigating the inevitable ups and downs that come with life. One powerful tool that can help build resilience is a sense of purpose. When we have a strong sense of why we do what we do, we are more likely to persist through adversity. Our purpose serves as a guiding light during the darkest of times. It reminds us why we need to keep going, even when the road seems impossible. Purpose is the anchor that helps us stay grounded when everything around us feels chaotic. It provides us with the motivation to rise again and again, no matter how many times we are knocked down. Finally, resilience is not a trait we are simply born with. It is something we can develop and strengthen over time. Every time we face adversity and choose to keep going, we are building resilience. Every time we rise after a fall, we are becoming more capable of handling the challenges that lie ahead. Resilience is a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows stronger the more we use it. In conclusion, resilience in adversity is not just about enduring hardship, it's about learning, growing, and thriving in spite of it. It's about facing challenges with courage, compassion, and an unwavering belief that we can emerge from them stronger. Resilience is built not in moments of ease, but in moments of struggle. It's a choice to keep going, a decision to find meaning and strength in every obstacle we encounter. And it's through this resilience that we become the women who rise, not just for ourselves, but for each other, with the strength to face whatever comes our way. Human beings are inherently social creatures. Our need for connection is not just a luxury, it is a fundamental part of our well-being and strength. Throughout history, individuals have thrived not in isolation, but within supportive communities. In times of challenge, in moments of celebration, and throughout everyday life, the power of human connection has been proven time and time again to be a driving force in our resilience, growth, and happiness. True empowerment doesn't come from standing alone, but from lifting each other up, finding solidarity, and building meaningful relationships that provide strength when we need it most. The need for connection is deeply embedded in us. From the earliest stages of our lives, we seek out relationships with others. As children, we reach for the comfort and security of our parents or caregivers. As we grow, we look for friendships, mentors, and communities where we can share our experiences and feel seen and understood. Our ability to thrive, to succeed, and to be our best selves is often tied to the support we receive from others. That is why building genuine, meaningful connections is an essential part of not only personal development, but also of creating lasting, impactful change. In a world that often feels fragmented, where technology can create a sense of isolation despite constant connectivity, the value of human connection has never been more important. We are living in a time where many of us are constantly plugged into digital devices, where social media often provides a superficial sense of connection, rather than the deep, authentic relationships that nourish our spirits. It's easy to feel disconnected, to feel as though we are alone in our struggles or even in our successes. But the truth is, we are never truly alone. We are all human with shared experiences of joy, pain, and everything in between. We need each other, and it is only through coming together, through building real, supportive connections, that we can unlock the power to rise above adversity and achieve our fullest potential. One of the greatest gifts we can give to ourselves and to others is the ability to show up fully and authentically. Genuine connection begins with vulnerability. It is when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable that we create space for others to do the same. Vulnerability may be uncomfortable, but it is the birthplace of trust, empathy, and understanding. When we share our true selves with others, our dreams, our fears, our struggles, we create opportunities for deeper connection. The more we are willing to open up and be honest about who we are, the more we invite others to do the same. And in doing so, we break down the walls that often keep us isolated and disconnected from those who can help us grow. In any meaningful community, there is a sense of mutual support. The power of community is that it works both ways. Not only do we benefit from the love and encouragement of others, but we also have the opportunity to offer our strength, wisdom, and care in return. It's in giving and receiving that the true power of connection is realized. It's in being there for someone else, whether through a kind word, a shared moment of laughter, or a gesture of support, that we build lasting bonds. Each time we show up for someone else, we strengthen the fabric of the community, and in turn, we strengthen ourselves. When we build meaningful connections with others, we create a foundation of trust and understanding that allows us to face challenges with greater confidence and resilience. When times get tough, knowing that we are not alone, that others are there to support us, can make all the difference. Research has shown that strong social connections are linked to improved mental health, increased longevity, and greater overall well-being. Our sense of belonging, the feeling that we are part of something larger than ourselves, is a key factor in how we navigate life's ups and downs. In difficult moments, it's often the people we turn to, the friends, the family, the colleagues, and the mentors who help us gain perspective, offer guidance, or simply provide a listening ear. These connections can be a source of healing, comfort, and strength when we need it most. Furthermore, building connection and community helps us to shift our focus from individualism to collective empowerment. In a world that often emphasizes personal achievement, it's easy to forget that no one achieves greatness alone. True success, whether personal, professional, or societal, is the result of collaboration, support, and shared purpose. When we come together, we are able to accomplish more than we ever could on our own. This sense of collective empowerment is one of the most beautiful aspects of community. It reminds us that we are all in this together, that the success of one person is often tied to the success of many. Creating and nurturing these connections doesn't happen by chance. It requires intentionality, effort, and a willingness to be present for others. Sometimes it means stepping out of our comfort zones and reaching out to those who might need a little extra support. Other times it means offering encouragement, empathy, or advice when someone else is struggling. Building a community is not always easy, and it takes time and patience to foster relationships that are built on trust and mutual respect. But the rewards are immeasurable. The relationships we build are the ones that will carry us through the hardest of times and lift us up during moments of triumph. It's also important to remember that building connection isn't just about being surrounded by people, it's about being surrounded by the right people. The power of community lies in the quality of the relationships, not the quantity. True connection is found in relationships that are built on mutual respect, honesty, and vulnerability. The people who truly empower us are those who celebrate our successes, support us through our struggles, and encourage us to become the best versions of ourselves. These are the people who remind us of our worth when we forget it, who offer us a different perspective when we're feeling stuck, and who walk beside us when the road ahead seems daunting. The right people create a safe space where we can grow, heal, and become our truest selves. In addition to our personal communities, there is also the power of collective action. When we come together to address societal issues, to lift others up, and to make a difference, we amplify our strength and impact. We see this in movements for social justice, in efforts to combat inequality, and in the everyday acts of kindness and generosity that ripple out and create lasting change. By working together, we not only create a sense of shared purpose, but also make a tangible impact in the world around us. In conclusion, the power of connection and community is immeasurable. It is the foundation upon which we build our resilience, our strength, and our success. When we come together, we are able to lift each other up, learn from each other, and grow together. Whether in our personal relationships or in larger societal movements, the connections we make with others shape our lives in profound ways. The strength we gain from these relationships is not only a source of support, but also an invitation to contribute, to give, and to create positive change. It is through the power of connection that we truly discover the strength within ourselves and each other. So let us continue to build communities that celebrate, empower, and uplift, knowing that in doing so, we create a world where no one has to face challenges alone. Living a purpose-driven life is one of the most empowering and fulfilling ways to navigate the world. When we live with purpose, we align our actions, choices, and energy with something greater than ourselves. Purpose gives us a sense of direction, fuels our motivation, and provides us with the strength to face even the most difficult challenges. It's the guiding light that helps us to understand why we do what we do, and when we are clear about our purpose, it becomes the force that propels us forward, especially during times of adversity. The first step toward living a purpose-driven life is discovering what that purpose is. For many of us, this might not be immediately clear. Purpose is not something that can always be defined by a single moment or a single ambition. It is a combination of our values, our passions, and the unique experiences that shape who we are. Sometimes finding our purpose requires introspection, asking ourselves deep questions about what truly matters to us, what we stand for, and what legacy we want to leave. It involves understanding our strengths and how we can use them to contribute meaningfully to the world around us. For some, discovering their purpose comes through their career, through the work they are passionate about. For others, it may come through their relationships, their community involvement, or through creative or spiritual pursuits. But no matter how our purpose presents itself, one thing is certain: when we are connected to our purpose, everything becomes clearer. We are no longer swayed by external pressures or distractions because our purpose serves as an anchor, guiding us back to what truly matters. Living with purpose brings clarity to our lives. It serves as a lens through which we can filter our decisions. Instead of getting bogged down by every minor issue or challenge, purpose helps us prioritize what is most important and reminds us why we started down a particular path in the first place. It becomes the reason we rise each morning, the motivation to keep moving forward even when faced with adversity. When we are aligned with our purpose, challenges do not seem as daunting. Instead of being overwhelmed by difficulties, we begin to see them as stepping stones on the path toward fulfilling our greater mission. Purpose also provides us with the strength to persevere through life's difficulties. Life is full of obstacles, and at times it can feel like everything is falling apart. In moments of doubt or difficulty, it's easy to lose sight of our larger goals. But when we are rooted in our purpose, we are able to shift our perspective. We recognize that setbacks are not failures, they are part of the journey toward fulfilling our larger mission. For example, if your purpose is to help others through social work, or by providing education or support, it becomes easier to navigate obstacles because you are reminded of the bigger picture. Purpose helps us see beyond temporary struggles and gives us the resilience to keep going. Living with purpose is also crucial in building a sense of fulfillment. Many people go through life feeling unfulfilled because they are simply going through the motions, doing what they should do or what others expect of them. They may have success in the traditional sense, such as achieving career goals, earning a certain amount of money, or checking off other societal markers of success, but these accomplishments often feel hollow if they are not aligned with a deeper sense of purpose. When we live for something that speaks to our core values, it fills us with a sense of meaning and satisfaction that external achievement simply cannot provide. In addition to providing personal fulfillment, a purpose-driven life has a profound impact on our relationships. When we live with purpose, we are more likely to attract others who share our values, passions, and vision. Relationships formed around shared purpose tend to be deeper, more authentic, and more resilient. Purpose fosters mutual understanding and respect, which strengthens connections and helps us support each other through life's challenges. People who are living with a sense of purpose often inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that can impact not just individual lives, but communities as well. When we are intentional about living with purpose, we attract people who are also committed to living meaningful lives, and these relationships become a source of inspiration, motivation, and growth. One of the greatest advantages of living a purpose-driven life is the ability to give back to others. Purpose is not just about personal fulfillment, it is also about making a positive impact on the world around us. When we are clear about our purpose, we begin to see the many ways in which we can serve others, whether it's through our work, our family, or our community. This can take many forms: mentorship, volunteerism, activism, or simply offering support to those who need it. When we give of ourselves in ways that align with our purpose, we not only help others, but we also experience a sense of fulfillment and meaning that enriches our own lives. The impact of a purpose-driven life extends beyond individual acts of service. When we are connected to our purpose, we also begin to see how our actions contribute to a larger collective. We become aware of the interconnectedness of all people and the role we play in shaping the world. Our actions, no matter how small, can create a ripple effect that influences others. Living with purpose means understanding that our individual goals are part of a larger tapestry, and every positive contribution we make adds to the greater good. Purpose also gives us a sense of direction when faced with uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and there will always be moments when the future feels unclear. In these moments, having a strong sense of purpose acts as a compass. It provides clarity and helps us make decisions that align with our values and long-term vision. Even when the path is unclear, purpose serves as a reminder of where we want to go and why it's worth the effort. Another powerful aspect of living with purpose is the way it encourages growth and learning. When we are working towards something meaningful, we are constantly challenged to push beyond our limits, expand our horizons, and grow as individuals. Purpose keeps us curious, engaged, and motivated to learn new skills, acquire knowledge, and evolve. It's through this constant process of growth that we become more resilient, capable, and confident.